I'm Devin from Devin Talks Tabletop. I'm your friendly neighborhood board game. This is whether I do it fast or slow, it's still never any good. Hi, I'm Devin, your friendly neighborhood board gamer, and this is Devin Talks Tabletop, the YouTube channel where the games are made up and what I say doesn't matter. Except I'm not talking about games at all today. Well, some video games. Timestamp. My mug is out there. It's just, I made myself some tea this morning, and I thought it was apropos to have it in here since this is for PUBG, and I've been playing Warzone. I gotta be real honest, guys. I have had a difficult, 10 days in terms of creating a level of focus and, direction in doing stuff. It's been not the best for getting crap done, but I'm excited for it to cool down a little bit once we hit into September, because I think I'll be much more desirous of going outside and running and biking. It's just been so hot. I haven't wanted to do it. I've also been lazy. I need to get back out exercising because that helps my energy levels, and that always helps my mental satisfaction with the day and commitment to be awake. So yeah, I've been super tired. So is my wife. It's just been a little but I gotta gear things up because I need to play Oathsworn and get that ready, so I'm ready to demo stuff. I'm gonna flip that over. I need to demo stuff in Essen, so I need to play Oathsworn. I need to do a bunch of other stuff, but I'm excited. This will be a good month. Looking forward to it. I just need to get going. So media review. There's no tea left in there. Media review. Things that I've done. Let's start with TV shows. I have finished Sandman. I enjoyed it. Sandman is one of my favorite graphic novels that I read since college or during college and throughout college into graduate school. Haven't reread it in quite a while. I would say that the TV show on Netflix, I think it's probably slow enough that it's probably not interesting to as many people as it could be. I am not unhappy about how slow it is because I do think that they have actually been quite faithful with the source material. They've changed up, castings, and they've changed up a little bit of nuance in certain stories, but for the most part, it is a pretty faithful adaptation of the graphic novel, and I really like Neil Gaiman. Just burping all of a sudden, really convenient at this stage in the video. But yeah, I really like Neil Gaiman. I like Sandman. I think it's a fantastic graphic novel. It is quite literary and dense. It is not a flashy, superhero-ish kind of experience. It's a much more thoughtful exploration of a kind of timeless entity, maybe learning how to become a little bit human and in how he interacts with the people around him, his responsibilities as one of the Endless, because it follows Lord Morpheus, it follows the Sandman, otherwise known as Dream, and he is one of the Endless, along with Death, Despair, Desire, Destiny, and another one that I can't ever remember. I think it's the Prodigal one that I can't ever remember. Anywho, the TV show's good. It's visually quite exceptional in a lot of the CG. It looks good, which for fantasy that's hard. For anything that includes fantasy, that's difficult. You got stuff like Jupiter Ascending and a lot of other fantasy movies that have come out that just don't look good visually. It's hard sometimes to make fantasy stuff look good. But they did a good job. They did a good job with Sandman. And I'm excited for the next season. I want it selfishly to get to season 4 because Seasons of Mist is my favorite of the graphic novel series, and so I really want to see that story play out on the TV or on the small screen, on the silver screen. Sandman. So yeah, Sandman, 100%. Enjoyed that. I want to jump into Severance next. It's got Adam Scott in it of Parks and Rec fame. So loud. I've said that before. I've said it's so loud before, but then when I've actually been in post, it's not been able, it didn't pick it up at all. So I wonder if it's actually as loud as I think it is. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? I also need to upgrade that mic at some point, but we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Yeah, so Sandman, I want to jump into Severance. I stopped watching Black Mirror. I need to jump back into it. I didn't stop watching it like intentionally. It just kind of like as I started watching Sandman and other stuff, I kind of stopped watching that because it is a more dense one. And I think probably also the mood I've been in or the energy levels I've been at has not meant I've had the mental fortitude to jump through Black Mirror. But yes, Sandman, good. Severance, excited to watch it. Movies, I watched Top Gun, the first Top Gun. Glad that I've watched it as a cultural thing. Would not go back and rewatch it. Ever. But I watched it so that I could watch the new one, Top Gun Maverick, because I have that and I just haven't watched it yet. But I was excited to watch that. But yeah, didn't really care for Top Gun. Haven't really watched that much else. I do want to see Bullet Train, but I don't know when it's gonna come out. Yeah, I don't think I've watched any other movies outside of watching Top Gun at some point. But yeah, I think that's it for movies. I think it's just Top Gun because I haven't watched really any movies. So Top Gun, Sandman, yeah, those are my visual media in terms of TV and movies. Video games, I've been playing Warzone. I deleted it and then reinstalled it again. It's always going to frustrate me, but I do enjoy playing it enough to where I want to play it. Haven't really played much else in the last like couple weeks. It's just really just been Warzone because I haven't really played video games other than just that. I haven't played a ton of video games. In terms of books, I have finished Dune, which I already talked to you all about, and I have since then finished the Mind Management graphic novel, the first omnibus. So it's like they have like 3 bigger volumes, and I've done the first of 3. So I think it's like comprehensive report 1 of 3 or something like that. And I finished it. I did enjoy it, and it has now that I've made it all the way through that first like volume of 3. The game has a lot more context for me. The board game has a lot more context. I understand why the characters that are there are the ones that I'm playing as, or that the Mind Management is playing as. There are still ones that I haven't come across, so I'm excited to keep reading the graphic novel to realize why they're in the game. But I do realize why quite a few people are in the board game now. I understand their contribution to the narrative, and I'm excited to see more of it come to life for me as I keep reading. In terms of graphic novels, I still have Harrow County left to jump into, which I want to jump into because of the board game, also from Off the Page Games that's coming out. I'm actually going to be doing an interview with them in a couple days. Excited about that. So I need to jump into Harrow County. I've also, when I was trying to give Amber a little bit of a break yesterday or the day before, and so I took Reese to Barnes & Noble. And I have purchased Far Sector, which is the Green Lantern reimagining from N.K. Jemisin, who did the Broken Earth trilogy. So that's like the 5th season and whichever ones come after the 5th season. I don't remember the name of the other 2 books. No, it's not the Broken Earth. Is it the Inheritance trilogy? I think it's the Inheritance trilogy. But it's the 5th season is the first one of them. And so she, who is, a multi-Hugo award-winning author, took the Green Lantern and kind of came up with her own version of events or moment of time within the history of the Green Lantern, like Guardians. So I'm excited to jump into that. I've got Far Sector, I've got Harrow County, and then I also took a deep dive. And I bought the first deluxe edition of like 10 of the Berserk manga. I have not read any manga or whatever before. Not really, yeah. I watched Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin and stuff on Adult Swim when I was a teenager, but I've never read any manga. And so I have got a huge black leather volume of Berserk. The very first, the first like 600 pages or whatever. I'll jump into that at some point too. So I'm excited to check that out because it's one I've heard about numerous times, and I've thought about, starting a manga series before, but I just haven't. So I got Berserk. It's huge. It's huge, and this one of like 10. So I'm excited to try that out. I got Far Sector, Berserk, Harrow County, all those to go into. But what I'm currently reading, I'm like 100 pages in right now to Assassin's Apprentice, which is the first book of the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb, I think is her name, Robin Hobb. And I'm at the point now, like 50 pages in or so is where I got to the moment where narratively or story-wise, they revealed some elements of the world and revealed some elements of the characters that I'm invested now. So I'm like 100 pages into that, and once I finish that, I'll probably jump into the other two because I'll have the momentum of finishing the first book, and I'll probably read through the second and third quicker or more speedily, and then after that I'll jump over to those graphic novels. So currently reading the Farseer trilogy, and 100 pages into the first book, and then I'll move into those graphic novels. That is reading, and I've done movies, and I've done TV, I've done video games. I think that's it.